Hello and welcome to Worst Quality Crab, a podcast of Asian American stories and recipes from best quality hearts. I'm your host, Freesia Lee. Joining me as always is my husband and producer, Sam.
Hello.
In this episode, we are joined by yet another of my high school friends. I'm very excited about this. We have with us this week Nina Meechoonuk, who has the honor of being one of my oldest friends and also my only Thai friend.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's true. Hi, Nina.
I think I'm a lot of people's only Thai friend.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think I feel honored. I feel some pride there. I represent
Nice.
all the Thais.
Nice. I'm sure we will get into that more because I was actually thinking about how you are my only Thai friend and what that means in a lot of ways for me and like at large. But first, let's talk about the dish that you brought for us to talk about this week. I have many questions. I have feelings, and I'm very curious what yours are. So, what is the dish that you brought? Who made this? When were you eating it? Do you still eat it? All of the things.
It's called Tod Mun, and it's a fried fish cake. Yeah, I ate it last night.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just something I ate growing up probably like once a week. It's probably one of my favorite Thai dishes. It's rare to find it on a menu, so it really is like a home comfort dish for me.
This is interesting to me because we do get a type of fried fish cake from a Thai restaurant, so I wonder if this is different. But it's actually the one that you told us to go to by your parents' apartment.
Oh, at Thai time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has become our go-to Thai spot.
Oh, nice.
Have you ever looked for it there?
I rarely eat Thai food at a Thai restaurant.
Fair.
My dad just goes there to hang out. I don't know how often he does now. He just goes in. They're like buddies. So he just goes in and they sit and chat all day. Like, I don't think he eats their food. He just goes in to hang out. What do they look like? Like little ovals, circles?
Yeah, they're kind of circular, slightly oval, like a little patty.
Yeah.
A little spicy.
What's the brown coloring?
Yeah, they're kind of like golden brown on the outside and then like a white fishy middle, I guess.
Yeah.
With like little bits of green in it, maybe.
Oh, now I'm curious. I'm going to have to maybe I'll have to go try it and compare.
Yeah. But also, like, it reminded me of high school because do you remember Narisa?
Of course.
Of course. Shout out Narisa. I don't know where you are. You're probably not listening, but hi. Hope you're well. I remember that she would bring it for lunch sometimes.
That's really funny.
And share it. And I remember being like, these are good. These are spicy as fuck. But I liked them.
Where was I when she was eating this? Because I don't feel like
I don't know. I mean,
I would have been curious if I saw her eating this.
I don't know. We probably had like some weird lunch that you had like a later lunch or whatever.
Also, she brought her lunch? I don't think I ever brought a lunch. Did you?
I remember we went out for lunch a lot, but we can't have done it every day. Could we? Was that sustainable?
I think we went to the Beanery, which was cheap.
But what did we get there?
Chimichanga.
Oh, you're right. Hey, listeners, this is just me and Nina talking about high school foods, high school cafeteria.
Chimichanga, that was the best.
That is the thing that we got. That's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to fish cake.
Okay, so you saw it in high school. Okay.
I saw it in high school, and then I only saw it in like select restaurants. And I think what's so interesting about you eating this all of the time and your parents still making it is it's one of those foods for me that obviously people know how to make. And I've like seen TikTok that went to Instagram because I'm that age of people making fish cake.
Oh.
Yeah. But it seems like a thing that like only restaurants can make and like cannot be made in a home. But obviously it can be.
Yeah. I think the opposite, actually.
Oh.
It almost doesn't seem like worthy of to be on the menu.
Interesting.
Because it's just so simple.
Do you know how to make it?
In theory. I was thinking about this. I know when I went to college, I was very like, oh no, how am I going to get my Thai food fix? I'm going to have to cook. So I asked my parents for the recipe, and I feel like I did it once. And it turned out okay, but deep frying is scary. I can't do it. And a lot of Thai food that I like is deep fried. So there's probably a lot of like me attempting to put it into the fryer and then screaming and jumping back. And then like, oh no, I have to get it back out. So I don't think it was very good.
You said you had it last night?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it from if you didn't make it yourself?
Well, I see my parents once a week. I bring Naomi over and he cooks something for her and then the spicier version of it for me.
Cool.
And so right now she's very into fried pompano fish that he makes.
Wow.
I came home with 2 fried fish and then fish cakes.
Is your dad a prolific cook?
Yeah, he can do all kinds of cuisines. Growing up, he felt like he thinks he's like Italian. But now he's branched out into his version of Mexican food. He's done Indian, like whatever cooking shows come up on Channel 9.
So he's kind of the self-taught cook?
Yeah. He feels like he's so competent that he can kind of tackle any cuisine as long as he like has the instructions.
Have you found that to be actually true?
I don't really enjoy his inventions. Just stick with the basics.
His fusion dishes?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's always tastes like a little off. Like he made some sort of Indian food, and I was like, I don't know what this is supposed to be.
Is everything just like a little bit Thai seasoned?
No, it's like a little bit sweet. He thinks everything needs a little bit of sugar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, wild question for the group. And also listeners, if you have an answer, please help me out. Is that a certain kind of Asian that just thinks that like everything should be a little bit sweet or have a little bit of sugar? Because I will not name a name, but in college, someone was like, yes, and then I put sugar on top of my spaghetti. And I was like, excuse me, what? And it was to like cut the acidity of the tomatoes or tomato sauce or whatever. And I was like, okay, I kind of understand like that in theory, not in practice.
Yeah.
And also Jollibee spaghetti. Is there like a type of Asian that's just like a little bit of sugar on everything?
Yeah, I'm sure.
A little bit of sweet everywhere.
He puts like sugar in his guacamole, and I'm like, what? Why?
Oh.
Just a little. Just a little bit.
Is your dad just maybe like a low-key sugar addict?
Oh, yeah.
Also.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like low-key diabetic. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Was he the primary cook when you were a kid also?
No, my mom did a lot of the cooking. And then I think when I went away to college and I would come back and he would be cooking, I think maybe he just had more free time then. So he has taken over the cooking role. But growing up, he was too busy working to cook that much.
So your mom would make fish cake also?
Yeah, so she did it, and now it's like been transferred to my dad.
Same recipe?
Yeah, and I think he learned it from her, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, and there are some dishes that it's still like my mom's duty to make.
Oh.
You know, I said he was competent, but there are some that my mom is like in charge of.
Is she competent?
Cooking, yes.
In the kitchen?
Yeah, she's a pretty good cook.
Would you say you prefer your mom's cooking to your dad's cooking?
No, they're both pretty good. Like my mom will make pad see ew, la na. It's pretty rare to make pad thai. It's like it's just too many ingredients. Yeah, she'll do like the noodly things, actually.
Okay, see, that's a thing where, again, going back to like what is a restaurant dish and what someone can make in a home, and I guess this is just me and like things at large, but the idea that your mom is making the things that we regularly order
Yeah.
that I theoretically could learn to cook and not spend the amount we spend because DoorDash fees is kind of wild.
But that's not
and
for
also
everything.
like makes so much sense. I know. You know, in a lot of ways, like we've talked about on the show before, like for me, trying to learn to cook Chinese food seems really daunting because I mostly grew up with restaurant Chinese food. And now I feel like Thai takeout is like the new Chinese takeout. And so in some ways, like I'm not supposed to learn to cook it because like that's just what we get for takeout now. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a home cooking food. even though like obviously it is.
I would put like Indian food in that category. I wouldn't even I would not never attempt to make it, but clearly it is something you can do at home. But like, no, that's our takeout food.
I mean, I guess where this brings me is like, will your dad teach me to cook? Or I guess your mom, because your mom's making the things that we're ordering. When are your parents setting up their cooking school is where this is all heading, where their online cooking classes.
I was like, we should all move to Hawaii and then I'll make them work my food truck.
You know? Not the worst.
Yeah.
Have you started cooking any Thai dishes?
I rarely cook, so no. But during the pandemic, everyone discovered their kitchen again. And a really good, legit Thai resource, blog, whatever, Hot Thai Kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, check that out if you want to make Thai food. Like, I really like her. And so we were trying to learn to make the basics. And so we did actually make pad Thai. And Ben is he's pretty competent in the kitchen. And I would say he may have done a slightly better job than mine.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel okay. I feel okay about that. He just cooks more, you know? Like, he just he's better at it because he does it more, I think.
Yeah.
And he likes it. I would rather just eat.
Right. He also is just a person that, like, when he does something, he just really does it all the way.
Yeah, he's not going to give you a B- pad Thai. There is something that I can make that is pretty easy, and I could totally teach you to make it. It's one of the things that you get at the restaurant, but you do not at all have to order that one.
What is it?
Tom kha kai.
Which is?
It's like the spicy-ish, sourish chicken one.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So we get the coconut version.
Yeah.
That's a regular go-to for us.
Yeah, super easy.
Yeah. Okay. So I would like this because I have actually attempted this based on some random blog that looked simple enough. It was probably a white woman, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, were they Asian?
I don't even remember. I think I was looking for like simple was in part of my Google search. So yeah. I'm sure there was like many shortcuts involved. But yes, this is one that I would like to learn because I feel like we have most of the ingredients around anyway, like especially if I'm going to do like a tofu version, which I will often order. And so it's really just figuring out like getting the flavor profile right of the actual soup.
Yeah.
So yes, please teach us.
Yeah, ingredients are obviously key and like the brand.
Right.
It is the thing that I have made most frequently.
Okay. Do your parents make it?
Yes. But it's not something I ask for. Like, I will ask for the more complicated things. Let's say we go over there on a Saturday while Nay's eating. He'll ask about the next week. Like, oh, okay, what do you want for next time?
Oh, I like this. And what do you say? What are the things you're requesting?
I say, can we just eat first and then digest and then think about what I want in the future? But I will ask for his green pork curry. Oh, fried eggplant. Oh. With like shrimp paste dipping thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've never seen that on a menu.
Because I regularly order like a eggplant basil with protein of choice. That's like one of my go-tos. And I think I did attempt that a couple of times and it came out decently. But it was one of those things where I had to be like, hey, what if I just tried? Someone can cook this at home.
Like a curry?
No, it's like a stir fry almost.
Oh, a stir fry. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is deep fried.
Okay.
Everything's deep fried.
Nice.
Do you do food field trips? Like try to make the dishes with your guests?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not all of the time, but we've definitely made, I would say, the majority of dishes. Okay. And some of them are very simple, like, you know, kind of, we're not like going out of our way to make like eggs and rice necessarily.
Yeah.
But some of our dishes have ended up in our regular rotation. So like Mom's
Cool.
Chicken, shout out
Yeah.
Deanna and Rob. That one is like kid friendly. We've done some of the Filipino soups, which has been really interesting, and I think like a nice change for us to learn about Filipino food and how to actually make it. And I will say Sam has actually spearheaded those adventures. But that also too was like, we have to go get a certain seasoning pack and make sure it's the right brand and we're using the right ratio.
I think that's really the hardest part is gathering the right ingredients.
For sure.
Trying not to go to like 5 different stores for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think too, like, as you know, we're kind of like on this food adventure, both in terms of like people's relationship to it and identity, and also just like straight up eating it. I'm realizing more and more how, you know, using flavor packets is part of the kind of like standard cooking.
Yeah. Like you're not cheating.
It's, yeah, that's the thing.
Don't even, don't make your curry from scratch. That's crazy.
Yes. Well, and like, I think I've like also, you know, in Chinese cooking, like we do like a mapo tofu and we use like the box sauce and curry. Yes, I will use, you know, the S&B golden curry all of the time. And it feels like cheating, but also it's the exact flavor that I want.
Yeah.
And so like, where is the line between like how much I'm really cooking versus like is a cheat versus is just kind of like, you know, a time-saving hack or whatever. And it actually never really occurred to me that that was true with Thai food also.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like a bottle of pad Thai sauce and I'm like, okay, that's a little much. That's maybe going a little too far. But yeah, buy your curry paste, you know?
Yeah. You mentioned that your dad is cooking for your daughter, Naomi. Is she into it?
Yeah. And I actually am proud and relieved that she can eat Thai food. She has a pretty good, like, diverse palate. I put in maybe a little effort, a little, like, conscious decisions about how to introduce Thai food to her. Because I wanted her to eat it early on. But, you know, I did ask my parents, like, you know, what do Thai kids eat? You know, when they're younger, like, you're not going to give them a curry. They're like, no, you don't give them curry. So you can make like the Thai omelet that I was telling you about. And the fish cake seemed like a nice intro for her because you can like make them not too spicy and they're like little handheld patties. And she always has liked fish. So that actually may have been one of her first Thai foods.
Can she do spicy?
Yeah, she can do spicy. I mean, I don't try to test her spiciness.
Yeah.
It's more like flavor. She can do some good amount of flavor.
Nice.
It never really occurred to me until this very moment, Nina, that I actually don't know your spice preference or tolerance.
I know people always ask, like when they, oh, you're Thai, you can like spicy food.
Yeah, right. Because there's a thing of like, oh, is it like white people spice or like Thai spice, like for Thai food, or same with Indian food, right? Like,
yeah,
when you say spicy, who spicy do you mean?
Right. It's all different. Like I cannot handle wasabi. Like my brain will explode and I'll start crying. And like, you know, whatever habanero, I can tolerate it. I don't actually even like that sort of spicy taste. And then there's like some Indian where I'm like, ooh, this is a lot. Give me my mango lassi. But yeah, I think I could handle a lot.
This gets to, I think, like a larger question that like maybe I have for you and maybe you have for yourself or not. I don't know. When we were, you know, dumb high schoolers, not that I didn't think of you as Thai because obviously you were Thai, but I never really thought about like what that meant that you were Thai because like our like group of friends was fairly diverse as far as Asians go. We didn't have white friends.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about like what it meant that, you know, you were Thai and we had a friend that was like Chinese Japanese and a bunch of like Chinese friends and then like Chinese Filipino and like other Hapa friends. Like I didn't really think about what that meant for us to be our unique sort of Asian makeup.
Yeah, that's why I was like blown away by the episode with Crystal because I do not really talk to her about being Chinese Burmese. Like I knew it, but we
Mhm.
never had conversations about it.
I guess I'm only now thinking about you and other people from our past in terms of like what their Asian ethnicity is, which is like one, a weird sort of like realization for myself of like how I thought of my friends or didn't, and how I think of people now. And that those nuances I can realize now are like more important potentially than I thought of when, I was a like dumb 15-year-old. And so I guess I'm curious for you, like, what was your experience being Thai? Like, did you even sort of think about yourself and your Thai-ness as a kid or as a teen, or like, do you now?
Yeah, I think I'm always, or was, is, I'm always aware that I'm Thai. And it came up in school all the time. Like when you start a new grade and there's roll call and the teacher says your name, you raise your hand. And every year it was like the same thing where I was like, oh, here it comes. The teacher's going to make a goofy comment about my name. Like,
Mm.
oh, this is a difficult name. How do you say this? And some would attempt it,
Hmm.
and then others would just kind of like Nina, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, here, Nina Meechoonuk. It didn't annoy me. It was a source of like pride to like speak up and say my name, and I liked that it was like hard for people to say, and that I would have to like give it a little bit of a story because they would always be like, oh, what is that? Like, oh, it's, my parents are from Thailand. So yeah, I think in that sense I was always aware of it. And then growing up, I was aware of it in that I was like, I just didn't know other Thai people. We didn't have like a Thai community.
Mm.
So I knew I was Thai in that there was an absence of it.
Oh, interesting.
Like how to be Thai. Yeah.
Hmm.
Did your parents kind of make a big deal about being from Thailand when you were growing up, or they just existed?
No, I think they also like to distinguish themselves, like we're Thai. Have you talked about how like Asians are kind of racist against other Asians?
You know,
Like we all think we're the best Asian. But anyway, so yeah, my parents would just make comments.
oh, interesting.
Yeah. That could just be them too. I don't know. They're
Right.
weird.
I mean, I think it's interesting in that, like, you're right that everyone does think that their Asian is the best. And this is not what I think. Just to preface, this is not what I think. But like growing up, it felt like, and to a degree, I think still feels like there's like the big three Asians, what I call the big three.
Yeah.
It's like Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and there's like
Sure.
a rank order to them, and then there's like Southeast Asian, and then there's South Asian, and then there's West Asian, and that's sort of like the hierarchy of Asianness.
Yeah.
But then like whatever you are, you're like, oh, but mine is the first thing, and then all of those other things.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, because like I'm Chinese, but also I'm white, so like I have a weird, my own weird mixed up relationship to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, but I'm in the big three. I'm like number one in the big three, just by volume alone.
Well, it's like that Ali Wong joke, right? About fancy Asian and jungle Asian.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Thank you. I was like, I don't want to say jungle Asian, but I do because
I mean, it's hot down there.
it is hot.
Yeah.
But also, like, who is a jungle Asian? Do they recognize themselves as jungle Asian? And then amongst jungle Asians, are they ranking? And I think that the answer is yes.
Yeah, they totally
because
are.
to your point, everyone is like, no, but mine is the best. Like, it just is.
I've also learned as I get older that there's some guilt about being Thai in relation to the other Southeast Asians, because I think Thailand had all the refugee camps where all the other Asians, with the wartime troubles would go.
Yeah.
And I do not think Thai people were very nice to them. So then I feel like, feel bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Vietnamese friends that I had, they're like, our family was on the boat and we would get attacked by Thai pirates. I'm like, what? What's a Thai pirate? Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Or like my Laotian friends were in like Thai refugee camp and not like great memories of that. Like, yeah.
I think the more that we do this show too, the more I'm like, there's a lot of world history that I probably need to learn more about, and like context that plays into a lot of things that we grew up with, honestly, that we like didn't even realize, we being the collectively. And also, I was listening to this other really great podcast called Inheriting. Shout out Inheriting. Met you at a KQED thing. Come on our show. But they basically talk about like singular world events, but like a person's family story in relation to that event. So like the Vietnam War or the Khmer Rouge or, you know, like LA riots, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And it's super interesting. And I think that like what I'm realizing is like as we do more of the show and as we talk to more people, like those things are at play still when we talk about like what were you eating in, you know, 1991 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that they really are all related. And it's like kind of wild. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, you know, in the history of time, like we're still very, very fresh in everything. But it's just kind of wild to think about and eye-opening to think about like the things that we talk about and like what we're feeding our kids and talking to our kids and like we joke about here, they come from somewhere that was like either an event 50 years ago or systems from 100 years ago that we're still just being like, let me sort through that in
Yeah, it's all
how I
still
feel
very
about this
recent.
food that I can't make.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have also mentioned that like maybe you don't feel Thai enough.
Mm.
What does that mean
Mm-hmm.
for you?
It means many things. If I encounter a Thai person, I will like immediately be like, "Hey, let's be friends. Let's be Thai together." Because it's so rare that it happens. That I just want to connect, you know, and find out what it was like for them growing up, Thai American.
I just want to say that this reminds me of how your dad just like hangs out at Thai time just to be tied together with someone.
Yeah, like you people want a community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they want to, you know, similar backgrounds and yeah. Do you want like an example of how it comes up?
I mean,
as not being enough?
Yeah, an example, or is it like language, lack of language, cooking, lack of cooking, like cultures, connections, lack of connection, specific example, a moment? I mean, everyone experiences the like lack of enoughness differently.
I'm sure you've encountered this being Hapa, but like, oh, you're Chinese, really? Like, and having to not defend, but like people will sometimes not believe that I'm Thai just based on how I look, and I have to be like, yeah, I am. Like it happened recently when I went to the Thai temple in Berkeley. It was for Songkran, which is like the Thai New Year. I felt like this was very brave of me. Like I went by myself. I kind of know what to do at the temple based on like memory. And I was just kind of watching and just following what the other Thai people were doing. So I got in line to do like the watering. You put like the water on like the monk's hands and they say like a blessing to you. So I got in line and the people behind me, it was this young kid and his Thai was so good. And I turned around and I was like, you speak really good Thai. I was like, are you, how did you do this? And he's like, I was like, yeah, I was born here, but, and, you know, he just gave me whatever obvious answer. And then the person he was talking to looked at me like, oh, are you like half Thai? Like, no, I'm Thai. So yeah, just kind of that will come up. Or like, we don't go to Thai restaurants that often, but when we do, I will really try my hardest to pronounce the menu things. Like, I think they sound very Thai, and I'm just always hoping the server will be like, oh, are you Thai? Like, you say those so well. Like, I'm not saying Tom Kha. Like, I'm trying.
Yes.
Yeah, but I have.
Like we are.
Yeah, I have yet to get praised by my Thai pronunciation.
So, like, the validation.
Yeah.
From that. Maybe they just think you're so Thai they don't need to tell you.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if this is too obvious or not obvious enough, but is there something about your outward appearance that is non-typical what people envision as a Thai person?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you think you can tell, like, what Asians are?
Well, that's interesting because I was going to say, to go back to this, like, big three, East Asian, Jungle Asian, whatever. Yeah. I'm not even sure that I could
do it.
Describe a Thai person.
I was going to say, I could probably distinguish big three.
Jungle v East is sure, that no problem. But if it was like, if you gave me a bunch of like browner Asian people and like said like sort them into piles or whatever, that's terrible. Sorry. Like, I don't feel like there is as easy of like a identifier or characteristics that is specifically Thai.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus,
right.
Yeah. I mean, that just reminds me when you said brown. Like, I definitely get like Filipino a lot. Just based on skin tone. I don't know what people mean when they say I don't look Thai. I should probably, maybe I could ask them, but I think that would be like beyond my language skill.
Are they Thai people that are saying that?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, you know that anyone that isn't Thai that's saying that, like, they don't count.
Yeah.
Which is also funny to me separately because I feel like I see your mom and dad all of the time in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
But it's not actually them.
Oh my God.
It's just other old people that look like them.
Dude, like my mom, she's aged, like she's pretty old. But like, yeah, same. Like I will see like a smallish old Chinese grandma. I'm like, Mom? And I'm like, oh no, that's not my mom. But
yeah, so I mean, I guess that's my like kind of my point of that is like I don't even think that when you are the thing, you necessarily look the thing.
Yeah.
To a degree, because I cannot tell you how. And I know the neighbor. I know where your parents live, and they're not like 50%. The rest of the neighborhood is also Thai, and I'm just mixing up my old Thai people. It's that they're just sometimes they just look like old Chinese people.
Yeah, my mom for sure does. Because she wears, it's the uniform of the hat, little beanie, puffy jacket,
yes,
cane, mask.
Yeah, actually, one time I thought I saw her by our house, and I was like, "This feels far for her," but it was because it wasn't her.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, but like not enough Thai language for sure. I cannot read Thai at all. Do I speak Thai? Very rarely. Unless I'm at the restaurant ordering. And even at home, my parents will speak in Thai and then I'll just answer in English. And if I really have to, I will say it in Thai just because the point is not getting across. And usually that's with my mom.
Oh, interesting.
Like we didn't go to a Thai temple growing up. I feel like I lack some knowledge there, like with the customs and rituals and what to do. Yeah.
I mean, to kind of flip your question a little bit, but like, what is enough Thai? Like, is it knowing the rituals and the language? And also, like, what's to gain, I guess?
I think maybe for me, like, knowing, more of the cultural things. I think I would feel more Thai if I had grown up going to a temple. Then I would have been exposed to, the Thai Sunday school. And learned Thai, like written and writing, or I would have been put into like the Thai dance class. But to what end?
Yeah, to what end?
I guess I think it's just maybe for me, for my self-esteem.
Okay.
When you get like people like Naomi, she's half Thai, quarter Japanese, quarter German Jewish. Like how is she ever going to feel enough of those four things?
That was going to be my next question, actually. Like, how important is it to you that Naomi feel Thai and feel connected to culture? And also, as someone who is mixed, like, is there ever enough of anything if in fact you kind of aren't? Or as I'm finding out, younger generations are like, no, I'm not like half this and half that, I'm all of this and all of that.
Oh Okay. Oh, interesting.
What is the reframe where the enoughness is just like what we deem it to be?
So, like, you're not half Chinese, you're 100% Chinese and 100% whatever, the other half.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You're a full Nina and you're a full Freesia, whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Like you're fully these things and you do not have to split them.
Yeah,
You just are made up of both of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Sorry, mathematicians. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of newly introduced to me, I think, in the last year through this show, actually. And I think about it a lot because, you know, we have 3/4 kids. You have a 3/4 kid. Yours is even more mixed than ours. And just sort of wondering, like, what will it be like for them?
Yeah.
And what are the things that we pass down? And I think similar to you, for us, a lot of it is food. And kind of the big culture hits.
Yeah, food, language,
New Year, things like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that is a good point. Like, what is enough?
Yeah.
You are enough.
Enough is different for each person.
Yeah.
It is different for each person. And I think for me, again, like, you know, being mixed, like I would look at you and think like, oh, Nina's full Asian. That's enough. Right. And I mean, again, there's so much nuance and layer, and it goes back to like types of Asian, and, you know, we're not all just Asian, and within that, what does that mean? And all of that stuff. But just in its most simplest, like I would look at all of our Asian friends and be like, they're full Asian. And then it gets into like, oh, but culturally you are this thing and you represent this part so much, and you are involved in the community and all of these other things that, like, when I was a kid didn't really track for me. Like I didn't kind of make those connections. And only now as I've gotten older, I've been like, oh, right. It's not about the actual like DNA. It's where you land with regard to culture and how much you celebrate it and how much you don't.
Yeah.
And I think that has been like kind of heartening for me.
Yeah. You could have like someone who is 100% maybe Japanese, but they don't know the language, they don't like the food, they've never been to Japan, you know, don't care about the culture. And then it's like, oh, is that enough? You know?
Yeah. Well, and then conversely, right? Like if you are adopted, Asian adopted to a white family, like Joyride that we saw together, like where is the enoughness there?
Yeah.
And to Sam's point, you are enough. Everyone gets to decide for themselves.
Yeah. I need to find my enoughness number.
Feeling, not a number. Feeling.
Not a number, yeah. Feeling, yeah.
Nina, this has been super fun, and I learned a lot of things about you that I have not known in the past 25 years of friendship, some wild number like that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being my Thai friend. We'll get a recipe of your Tod Mun up on our website. Listeners, you can find the recipe at worstqualitycrab.com or on Instagram at worstqualitycrab. And if you want to email us, you can find us at worstqualitycrabpod@gmail.com.
And if you like what you hear and you're looking for ways to support the show, please leave a review at your favorite podcast platform.
We still have not sent out our fan boxes. So if you would like to leave us a review wherever you are listening to this podcast, you can do so, and you will be entered to win one of our little fun boxes. I will just say there's a real yummy couple of omsams in there that I love. Not sponsored by omsam. Hello. There's my favorite Trader Joe's ube mochi waffle mix that I hoard a little bit because it's that good, I think. And so does the baby. And some fun things in a food keychain nature, some stickers. So if you would like to leave us a review, you can be entered to win that. And what else, Sam?
And also, if you really like what you hear, go to buymeacoffee.com/worstqualitycrab and buy us a coffee. Thanks.
Nina, I just want to thank you again. And also I'm looking forward to our actual cooking lesson. And if your parents would like to come to my house and teach me to cook Thai food, we welcome that. Maybe we can, get them some sort of like Zoom setup and they can teach our whole group of friends. Because truly, I think this is a thing where like, this is a unique skill that we would all like to learn so that we do not have to keep ordering it. And your parents are the keepers of this knowledge.
I mean, the grandparent cooking show should be a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. I would watch that.
I think about that a lot because, they're not going to be here forever. And we all want to know how to cook this food.
Yeah. Ooh, next project.
Yeah, YouTube channel.
Grandparent cooking show. Amazing. In the meantime, everyone, go make fish cake or look for it at your local Thai takeout. Nina, go try Thai time and like see what you think just for fun.
I will.
Yeah. When your dad is hanging out there, have him like order food.
I'm going to say I'm going to go undercover, but they might know what I look like.
Oh, interesting.
You can order it for me.
Yeah. Or you could just like place an order and then go pick it up, like, and it's already ready. So they wouldn't even know.
I'll just you order it and then I'll come over and we'll cook it and we'll have like a taste off.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. Okay, this is good. Okay. This is good. All right. Well, thank you again. This was super fun.
Yeah.
And everyone else, we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.